Hey! So it's been a while since I've done a video. Some things have changed here, you know, new background, new setting. I have a standing desk so I can just leave anytime I want. As long as I'm not attached to the microphone. And I said, hey, it's a new year. There's been a lot of stuff happening in the last year. Do you know what we need? New insults. Just to clarify, I'm not talking about like insulting someone based off their look or like their race or their creed. Well, there's kind of a creed element involved. But like, I'm talking about insulting people for just doing shameful crap that like really shouldn't be happening in 2026. Like, I want insults that when someone gets called like these insulting terms, that they genuinely take them to heart and like feel like they have to defend against them because they have carry such a weight behind them, you know? Basically calling people out on their garbage behavior. Like, an example of what I'm talking about here would be something like Karan. Now, Karan I don't feel gets used very often in this day and age, but it instantly gives you the image of like short to medium haired woman who's entitled, maybe a soccer mom, comes into a shop and it's like, oh, I want to speak to the manager about something because I'm angry about absolutely nothing.
The show.
Excuse me!
Well, here's what ruins the show.
Excuse me!
Oh, please.
You want to call that crap out, so they're a Karen. Stuff like that. And something like that may not have the oomph that it once did. I feel like it doesn't get used as much anymore, but it still carries a certain connotation that if someone were to call you a Karen, you'd kind of be like, am I? I just want to have that garbage behavior called out so that someone's like, hang on, am I doing something bad here? Did I do something wrong? We just got to start calling out crappy behavior. So I have some ideas for some insults here that hopefully should help out. So the first insult that I've got, it's directed towards AI users, and I'm talking about the people who are like using AI for everything. They're using it for like suggestions on things. They're using it to generate images. They're using it on X in, you know, the weird way that Grok has been used for lately because they're disgusting bottom feeders.
I've actually for a long time been a strong advocate of AI regulation.
Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop fucking lying.
These people need to be called sloppers. I'll admit I've seen this one online, but I don't feel it's gotten near enough the popularity that it deserves. I think that's a phenomenal insult. To call someone a slopper? Oh, just imagine someone being like, I checked this with AI, and you come back with, you're a filthy little slopper, aren't you? I think there's a lot of insults you can throw with that one. Oh, little slopper can't make a decision for himself. Does the little slopper baby think that art needs to be more accessible? Oh, little slopper. Oh, God. It's got a gross connotation. I love it. It's so good. I feel this term especially helps out given that the CEO of Microsoft recently came out and asked people to stop using the word slop. And I feel that should just be the catalyst to help out with something like this, you know. See people online, feel free to start calling them sloppers because they're gross. Because I've seen like variations on it, like slop shills and slop pushers. No, just straight up slopper. Hard or. And speaking of Microsoft, the next one that I've got is directed towards people who like really go to bat for big corporations. Like the crazed LinkedIn posts where it's like, well, my parents died, but what did that teach me about inventory management? You know, those like real weirdos who are like so desperate to be in a suit and tie all day. Or, you know, you'll see a corporation like have a bunch of layoffs and they'll have speak that's like, we're streamlining our process and we're all about efficiency and blah 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 blah. This is all corpo speak. These people are corpos. Yes, I have lifted that straight from Cyberpunk, but I think that's a phenomenal one.
I saw a corpse strip farmers of water and eventually of land. Saw them transform Night City into a machine fueled by people's crushed spirits, broken dreams, and empty pockets.
Like people that are like, oh, we want to be agile, lean, and aggressive in our approach. No, you're just a corpo. You're a filthy corpo. I also like to throw filthy in front of all these because I feel like filthy really just, calling someone filthy at something, it's great. So, yeah, corpos, just straight out of Cyberpunk. I think that's a phenomenal one that doesn't get as much sway as it should. One term that I had noted down here is clanker. People have lifted that straight from Star Wars, and I quite like that. Clanker's a good one, but it doesn't quite. I think they were using it for AI initially. It doesn't quite work for AI because AI doesn't clank; it whirs more so. I'm trying to think of a good way to use this. If anyone has any ideas, please let me know. But like, I was thinking of this one maybe for like when a company lays off people to replace them with robots. Like Amazon. Amazon are a perfect example of this, where they're like, we'll lay off a bunch of people in our warehouses, replace them with robots. That's a clanker move right there. I can't really think of a better example for that one. Because personally for AI use, Slopper, in terms of how bad it is, I feel like a clanker is more favorable than a slopper. What did I just say? But like, I feel like I haven't found the right use for clanker yet. So anyone has any ideas on clanker, by all means. The final one I've actually kind of got two words here. And this is just directed towards MAGA people, you know the type, the red hats, the endless tweeting on X, the excusing lots of seedy shit. Maggots. I figured just add a T to the end and like kind of invokes the bottom feeder that feeds on dead flesh, you know. Just MAGAT, maggots. I figured that's a good one. Kind of invokes something. The other one I have for them is just straight up calling them, probably shouldn't use this in the video, PDF files. You've been on the internet surely. Yeah, because if they're just enabling one big one at the top, that's trickle down economics, baby. If you support the guy at the top who does the thing, you're one of them. You're in the club, baby. You do that really awful stuff and you want to be in the Epstein files. So, you know, just one of those. Frankly, I prefer the second one to be used, but you're probably going to get banned on whatever sites that MAGA people hang out on. So, you know, feel free to use maggots as well. Yeah, that's just guilty by association, pretty much. But yeah, that's my new insults that I'm proposing for widespread use. Hey, if people have other suggestions, I'm down for it. These are just the ones that I really like because they resonate with me. I quite like that, and I'd like to see a wider adoption of that. But yeah, we just need to start calling out crappy behavior from other people. So like, you know, people who are just relentlessly using AI at the expense of others, like obfuscating, like
6.5 hours later.
Obfuscating corporate speech, you know, like these dudes in suits who are like, oh yeah, we're telling you one thing, but they're doing something shady in the back room. Or calling out people who support, you know, the big orange guy in the big White House. I think calling out a lot of that behavior is definitely worthwhile and valid in doing. Especially because I've been playing Wolfenstein, so I really am just like, I don't have any time for that fascist line of thinking. So, you know, definitely want to call that out, because holy crap. But yeah, that's all I got. Thanks for being here and watching. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, and subscribe. All that usual stuff. And yeah, wherever you are, have a good day. Talk to you later. I just noticed with this angle I can do like the Martin Scorsese, like, absolute cinema. That's dumb.